Well, I'm on Taneycomo today. It's Monday, almost the end of February. That is one fat little rainbow. Caught in on number 16 zebra midge under a float about 14, 16 inches. Low Fall Creek. I just threw a little loop in my line. I just slapped it on the water. Another fish right up here by the bank came up and surfaced just when I was fighting that little rainbow. But I threw it, landed it probably too hard. He's probably gone. I want to look at my little zebra midge and make sure it's not all balled up, which it is. I try to get a little too fancy with my cast. Anyhow, we just had the last winter tournament, regular winter tournament of this season. Golly. We had a really good turnout on all 4 tournaments. 2 of them being public and 2 of them private. To break it. Had some interesting weigh-ins. The tournament that we allowed bait, first Saturday in February, was the raw. By far was the best as far as big fish. We saw a lot of really nice rainbows and a couple keeper browns that tournament. This last tournament a couple days ago, we had some not very good weights. It was pretty much a bluebird day. No wind. There was wind. Take that back. Well, it was not a good fishing day. The guys said it was tough. As far as catching fish, you know, guys fishing bait or lures, either one, they've been catching fish. Trophy area, catching some good fish. But we're catching a lot of these small fish too. This isn't too bad. It's bigger than the first one I caught. Being pretty aggressive. They're taking the float under. Not just sitting there nibbling it. Our lakes are pretty low. Table Rock is approaching 10 feet low. And Bull Shoals is low also. Beaver's low. We just hadn't had a whole lot of rain this, well, really last fall or this winter. I should let go log right there. I think I'll throw over here. So there's not a whole lot of water to run. That and power demand is down because of the warm weather. Nobody's running heaters. Actually, probably running air conditioners. Saw some daffodils coming up today. I don't think I've ever seen that in February. Another fish about the same size as the last one. There are some big fish on this flat. You just have to catch a bunch of small ones to get to the big ones. So they're not running much water at all. Water's been off for the most part. They've been running maybe a little bit after dark or a little bit more. They did run some this morning, just a little bit. So you guys that like to fly fish or fish with the water off, this is gonna be your season. Got a little chop now in the water. I think they're eating regardless. The chop does help. If you like to troll, I guess there were a lot of people trolling this weekend, Friday and Saturday. Down at the landing, they were trolling small floating crankbaits, and I'm trolling pretty slow with the trolling motor. They were trolling Cleos, other small spoons, but mainly Cleos. And I talked to a couple people that were trolling inline spinners too, but by far the guys that were trolling the Cleos were doing the best. A couple people at the at the weigh-in yesterday said that they were, or they caught, released some browns that were just under 20 inches. And those fish were caught trolling. And down by the landing, there's 2 fish in a row I missed. I'll check my hook next time. But the landing was by far the hot spot of the weekend. There's fish that were just stocked down there, and so the numbers were up. Just the size wasn't the greatest. So, you know, I talked to, there's one that came up right there. I talked to some guys that fished earlier in the week this week. They fished for 3 days. They were from St. Louis. They were veteran fly fishermen. Okay. And fishing midge, zebra midges and scuds. Nothing wrong with that. Look, just missed 3 in a row. Sorry, Jack. Didn't know you were laying there. Here we go. And it's a good fish. Very nice fish. Guys would have loved to have this one on Saturday. My, Jackson, you're gonna have to get off that net. Get off my line. Yeah, these guys from St. Louis, first 2 days they were kind of complaining. Not complaining, but they said, caught a lot of fish, but no size, all cookie cutter fish. All about the same size, 12, 13 inches. 2 days, about the same thing. Second day, they said, might have been a little better fish. Third day, they didn't catch all big fish, but they said it's like somebody flipped a switch and the big fish came out to play. This is crazy. This is a good fish. It's a rainbow. Oh, he jumped. So just, the fish are there, good fish are there. They just don't eat every day. Little ones, they eat every day, almost. They eat more often than the big ones. I think I have 6X on here. I'm gonna play him like I got 7. Plus I've missed 3 fish in a row on this hook, so. Turn the camera a little bit. Gonna help me, Jackson? I think Jackson knows it's a big fish too. He's paying a lot of attention. This is one of those ones that the hook could pull out at any minute. You know, when you get a 16 hook in a fish's jaw, that thing can be, it can pull out so easy, especially a fish like this. That's why I'm not putting a whole lot of pressure on him. Yeah, he's about a 3.5, 4 pound. Oh, man, he shakes his head like that. It's like it's gonna throw my hook. Just does not want to come in. Maybe he'll jump again. Oh, he's pretty. He's bigger than 4 or 5. Oh. Saw the net. Boy. About the time I think I could slide him into the net, he just... Oh, buddy. One more time. There we go. What do you think? That's a good fish. I'm not going to get him out of the net too much. Okay. It's a nice female. Jackson, can you step on that net right there? Not bad. He's probably 4.5. He's long and skinny, and the hook's already out, so I can release him. All of his fins, his tail is a little bit bummed up, but hook came right out as soon as it went in the net. That would have won big fish Saturday, easily. Probably would have won a tournament for somebody. Cool. I can go home. That just really, it shows you what kind of fish are below Fall Creek. I mean, you don't have to go to the trophy area to catch big fish. You know, will that fish hit bait? Probably eventually, but he has survived in this area for a long time. And I imagine he's just been eating scuds and excuse me, midges. So I think they get pretty wise to that power bait stuff. I mean, they have to get that big. A night crawler, on the other hand, is a little different. Not even big fish. They have a hard time turning down something that's natural, like a night crawler. But a zebra midge or a scud or something that they eat readily every day, you know, they're gonna more have to be caught on flies, maybe a jig than bait. You know, a fish that big, he didn't take that float under. He just kind of vibrated it. It's really surprising how soft a mouth they do have, even a bigger one. Especially when they take a scud, you know, they're not going to pick it up and run with it. They're going to sit there and chew on it, shake their head a little bit. Just they'll move that float just a little bit. That's why a couple things I tell people when I show them how to do this is don't throw your indicator, don't throw your line out there so far you can't see a little vibration of the float. And watch your float. You can't come down here and look at the birds and the trees and the hills, because the bites are not, they're pretty fast. And even when you get right on them, you're going to miss quite a few. It's been about 20 minutes or so, 15, 20 minutes since I caught that big fish. And I've gotten a couple of bites, but they really slowed down, at least out where I was fishing. So I'm moving in, because they are working a little bit more in the shallow water. And my motor's dragging on the bottom, in the back. Shorten up the fly to where I'm fishing about 6 inches deep. I actually would like to have a smaller float. Smaller float to where I can land my cast a little quieter. I really don't have time to change. Oh, see one out there? Oh, swimming and flashing around out there. Let's see, he wants some edge. There's one right in front of me. Boy, he hit it as soon as it hit the water. That float didn't scare him at all. That was funny. Yeah. Yeah, it's a little one. See several fish out there just kind of swimming around and flashing and coming up and surfacing, and I think it's a school of these little ones. Somebody asked me if these were escapees or natural spawned, hatched, raised in this lake. I'd tell you the truth, I don't know. I don't even have a really good guess. Yeah, just another one. I think there's a bunch of little ones right there. They certainly are small enough. They look like they've maybe been born here. It's just real hard to say. Since they are schooled up, it makes me think that they were stocked. That's 3 bites in a row. 4 bites in a row. 5 bites in a row. They're yanking it down. My zebra edge, my little rusty, is getting kind of tore up. The wires kind of come off and bunched up, and the threads coming off, and they're still hitting it. Oh, that was a nice fish underneath it. Come on, come on, come on. I got the flag close enough to the float where I could see that fish come up. Actually kind of looked like a bluegill. Different color. It's kind of an orange color. But he didn't hit it. That pink worm, Berkeley's pink trout worm, is still catching fish. Got some guys here use it some this weekend and did pretty good. But the guides, that's still their go-to lure. Fish are still hitting it. I know Dwayne caught one a couple, 3 days ago on one-on-one cast, and he held it up and showed how he was hooked and what it looked like. Not a bad little fish. my zero midge. It's okay, it was spent. And that's a good place for me to quit because the sun's gone behind the cliff and it's getting kind of late. Now I gotta go home, do one cast. Jackson's ready to go home, aren't you? Yeah. Gotta write a fishing report. Thanks for watching.